Hey guys, like number 25.
190 to 34.
With episode 38 of Ranger Review. Today we have this Power Ranger Super Legend, the Retrofire Megazord series. So we have the Megazord and the Thundersaurus Megazord. You got the box art was always the same. All they did was just change it and whatnot. You know, it's the same thing. It always is different name, and when you open it, they have a storyline of how the Rangers were. But yeah, that's about it.
This is an original creation from Bandai where they simply just made them look more like a human being rather than the more robotic form.
And they actually look more like anime-ish, kind of cartoony style. So it's actually, especially
the elongated horns on the Megazord.
Each of the Retrofire series in the Super Legend line, during the r.a.m line, we have the stick. We started the sticker series, which every toy you bought from r.a.m, they had a sticker on it. It was always a different one, and people just collect. It's like a little hobby. Collect all the stickers, which is mostly saying buy all the toys and you get all the stickers. So now we have the Megazord mode. I call it the anime Megazord because it looks like an anime character. Legs do move. They are really posable. Even the funny is the feet actually can go up and down. The Mastodon shield does come off, but it doesn't hold. All it is just a little clip onto the
arm.
Yeah, and actually you can actually do this too.
Same thing on the Thundersaurus, you can take the shoulder pads off.
It looks nice, I mean, and here's the power sword. A little decent size for a power sword, it's not bad. Just stick it in and boom, you are done. You have the Megazord in full combat mode.
Yeah, it could be twisted from the torso, it could be, the head could be moved, the arms could be fully rotated.
This is a
extremely
articulated figure. I like it because it's so articulated. And of course, each of the Megazords had this kind of staff with the lightning symbol on it.
You can put it in the front or the back.
And you can just, you know, pose whatever
any way you want.
Like, the Megazord's flying, about to do a cross chop on you, whatnot. You know, it's actually a really posable figurine to look at. I actually like the series, but I just don't like how failed it was.
Yeah, because it discontinued it really quick.
Yeah, the thing is that these figures were really expensive too. They were like $12, $13 a figure. It's like, wow, really? Is it worth it? Some ways yes, some ways no. Because
there's like paint missing from certain things.
Yeah,
for example, the Mastodon shield. There's nothing on the face.
And the Triceratops and Saber the Tiger. There's no paint on the sides.
Yeah, so there's like some details that you wish they were there,
and some details you wish they were not there. But regardless, these are really, the stand really does help the posability with the figure, and it does move. The waist moves. For something that we haven't had in a while, a waist does move. So I can make them turn like this, face this way, and do whatever, you know? It's a really posable figure. I really like these posability, but other than that, the figure, the toy line just failed. Wave 1 had the Megazord, the r.a.m High Octane Megazord, and the Wild Force Megazord. The Wild Force was really bottom heavy because the weight on the bow was really heavy for some reason. I guess they put some kind of magnet or something on it. It was really heavy compared to the regular ones. Alright, so now we have the Wave 2 figure, which was the last and final wave we have, and the most limited wave. When I say that, is because you really couldn't find it. Wave 2 was the Titan Megazord, the Thundersaurus, and the r.a.m Battlemax Megazord. You know, it's the same thing. They all came with a stand. All the Retrofires do. But the only difference is that lack of paint. The posability is the same thing as every other one. And it's nice that the drill does spin, but guess what?
The other side wasn't painted.
So you have a painted side and not painted side. Same articulation like everything else. It works, and you know, it's a nice little detail.
The shoulder pads do come off,
which is kind of weird.
I guess it's because it's made it easier for manufacturing purposes. But it's easy to lose them. If you put the arm a little bit too high, they fall off.
You can see how it looks like right now. Without it, it looks really nicely articulated. But yeah, I gotta say that this wave was really weird because after like what, a month, these were gone. I guess Bandai noticed like
it didn't sell well.
It didn't sell well. They discontinued the line because if there was more line, they would have made more figurines.
Yeah, they would have probably done us the sub characters.
Yeah, I actually like, you know, these, like with the stand, it makes the posability look absolutely gorgeous. Like you can just have them like leaning down, you know, about to do a drill on you or something, you know. The possibilities are endless with them, you know. These figures are nicely detailed. They look like anime characters. The only difference I don't like about this one in particular, the Triceratops doesn't move his head.
Yeah, and he's not really that painted well either.
Yeah, there's like so much.
They should have put some silver on him.
But he's a cool looking toy. I wish that they did make more of these. What's funny is that I actually didn't buy this until I saw it on eBay because because when I was trying to find these, I was like, oh, let me try to find them. I gave up finding them because I knew that the toy line was failed. But after that, I just found this on eBay for a really cheap price, so I bought them. Other than that, I wouldn't go so far collector-wise on these things because they're not really that much of a value to me as they used to be. So you know, these are cool. You know, these are cool. I mean, if you guys want them, go get them. They're fine. They're somewhat cheap, somewhat not, but you know, it depends on which one you're looking for. They're really posable. They're worth it in some aspects, but if you don't mind the lack of stupidness, it's alright. You know. But yeah, so these are it for the Retrofire. Join us next week for the Tackle Boy, aka the Warrior Wheel from Power Rangers Zero. Rate, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next week. You know, they're really nicely detailed. And if you stack them up by set, from the corners you can see whatever Megazord it is, like Thundersaurus, you know, whatever. The detail is, you know, it's actually a nice little set. Japan's style of releasing figures is actually different from ours. They do
those candy toys.
The candy toys are actually really nicely detailed.
Their drawback is that you have to buy 3 different sets.
And yes, you have to paint them yourself. They're not painted. They're not fully painted. The candy toys are more detailed. There was actually a guy that customized his own G12. I was amazed at it. That picture was amazing. It was like he painted it detailed to like kick-ass detail. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was like you might as well just keep that instead of getting the deluxe version.
Yeah, because the deluxe version loses posability and lacks posability, but these don't lack anything. Which I'm surprised we actually have that because a lot of people would have complained it looks like a devil. I guess you could say there's a peg in the butt